Obviously there was a lot of pain and turmoil and stuff that you went through. Like myself, thinking about the possibility of doing that, my issue is like, oh my God, I don't want to have to give myself injections and hormones and, you know, figuring all those things out. But it seems like at some point you decide, you know what, I want a child, and this is the path I'm going to take, and I know it's going to be an obstacle.
Well, so when we found out this was our only option if we wanted to have a biologically related child, I just sort of set my mind to it. However, the whole time we were going through it, we kept having the conversation, which I talk about in my book, that adoption was always an option, and it still is something that we talk about doing. That we didn't think that having our own child is better than adopting, but it was just something that we decided that we were going to avail ourselves of this medicine. I mean, the only consideration was how much medicine I was willing to expose myself to. Something that is starting to get talked about more is that women who go through this are exposing their systems to really massive doses of hormones in a short period of time, and we're not quite sure what the risks are. Yeah. You know, if you want your own baby, this is a risk that you'll assume, and we did. I think with anything that really is important to you, you just sort of put your head down a little bit and barrel through, and that's what we did. And unlike a lot of women that I've talked to, I wasn't the person who went through 10 unsuccessful rounds. I was lucky. On my third try, I ended up pregnant with my first. Then I was not successful my next round, but I had that first, so that gave me some peace of mind, and then I was successful.
And you have 3 children now,
yes.
And they were all from in vitro fertilization?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old. She was a singleton. You know, it feels so clinical to talk about my Sophia as a singleton. She was my singleton.
It's very scientific, this whole thing. You know?
It is so scientific. And then my next successful one, there were some disappointments in between, but my next successful one, again, they put in 3 embryos, and I got pregnant with twins. So now my twins are 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And by nature, I'm not a sciencey person, but
You are now.
I am now, and I think
Yeah.
that people who go through this get a very quick education. You don't sort of realize when you think about, oh, I want to have a baby. You don't realize all the things that you're going to become an expert on. My book very much is a celebration of the fact that we can do this, that we can not sort of resign ourselves to not having children.
That it's a great option, right?
It is, and it also means that you don't have to be part of a heterosexual couple to have children. Anyone can have a baby.
You know, we tell people, start saving now and be thinking about your retirement, but nobody's saying and save your eggs too while you're at the bank. Stop by the
right.
Maybe we should. I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah. Should we be educating women at a younger age to think about these things?
I think women should think about them. We now have all this anecdotal evidence that putting it off for a long time can cause problems. However, I would not say to a 20-year-old woman, before you go to English 101, stop off at the clinic and freeze some eggs. I think you never know where life is going to take you. If you end up in your 30s and you're starting to worry about it, maybe that's an appropriate point to do it. I think, as I said before, it's good to have a baseline. It's good to have a point of reference, but to obsess over it, it's not, I mean, for me at least, it was something that was really important to me, but I wasn't going to regret the way I had led my life up to the point at which I decided, I want to be pregnant, and I'm going to have a problem doing it. And I think people need to lead their lives. I think that, again, use my generation as evidence that it can be hard. Know kind of what your reproductive health is, and then make a decision that's appropriate. And I do think that you cannot take the reproductive clock for granted. All the fertility doctors that I spoke with just said the reason why, some of them even call it an epidemic. It's because people just don't realize that there is a trade-off if you wait.
Wyatt?
Whitney.
What did you think? That was a pretty intense topic.
I was like, just for the topic, Beth she was great.
She is funny and smart and interesting, and sharing her personal stories was great. It's amazing that she has 3 darling little kids as a result of going through IVF.
Yeah, but to me it's overwhelming, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around this and understand, like, is this a path that I would actually take? I think, right now.
What are you most concerned about?
Well, the part about the hormones, like the physical part, like there's a lot of physical pain and angst that you have to go through. And we don't know what these hormones are doing to our body, you know, and the fact that you have to stab yourself, well, not stab yourself, but, you know, inject yourself with a needle. Okay, maybe that's not such a big deal, but you know, you go through all of this. It sounds like there's a lot of emotional issues that you have to deal with, and there's only a 30% chance of having a baby, so why not adopt, you know?
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if maybe when I go down the path of trying to get pregnant, you know, I might decide that I want to do this. So it's, right now it's all just a big jumble.
It is, and I've always thought that I would adopt if I got to that point where I couldn't have a baby. And so, I mean, not even getting to the needles and the hormones point, just getting my foot in the door of a clinic and having to deal with that and do the research, that overwhelms me, just the thought of it. I think it would be very hard. So I admire women who do it. I am glad that we have that choice.
That's true.
For people who want it. So very fascinating.
Yeah, we hope you found it fascinating, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.